Have you ever wondered why there is no bridge connecting Europe and Africa? This question might not be one that keeps you up at night, but it's a fascinating query to delve into. After all, we've built bridges over vast expanses of water before. Think of the astonishing series of bridges connecting France to England, or the staggering 164-kilometer-long bridge linking Beijing to Shanghai. Europe and Africa, two continents rich in history, culture, and economic ties, are separated by a mere 13 kilometers at the Strait of Gibraltar. The southern tip of Spain, the Moroccan coastline, and the British territory of Gibraltar are all within view of each other. On an exceptionally clear day, one might even see the African coastline from the Spanish shore. This tantalizing proximity makes the absence of a bridge seem all the more peculiar. Currently, the route between Morocco and Europe is traversed by air or sea. Tourists jet off to the Moroccan cities of Marrakesh or Casablanca, while goods exchanged between Spain, Gibraltar, and Morocco are ferried across the sea. With over 300 ships navigating the Strait daily, it's one of the world's busiest sea routes. Imagine if this 13-kilometer distance could be spanned by a bridge. A brisk walk would get you across in about 2 hours, while a car could zip you from one continent to another in mere minutes. It seems so simple, so logical. But then, why isn't there a bridge? Why, when we've tunneled through mountains and built highways across the ocean, is there no direct link between Europe and Africa? The question isn't a new one. In fact, there have been plans since the 1800s to construct a tunnel between the two continents, similar to the Battle of Tunnel between France and the United Kingdom. But the challenges, as we'll soon discover, aren't just about the physical construction. On the surface, it seems like a bridge between Europe and Africa would make perfect sense, doesn't it? Yet, as we peel back the layers of history, politics, and geography, we'll find that the answer isn't quite as straightforward. The idea of connecting Europe and Africa is not new. In fact, it dates back to the early 20th century. The year was 1930, and a bold proposal emerged from Spain to build a tunnel. Yes, a tunnel that would traverse the depths of the Strait of Gibraltar, linking the two continents. Now, the Strait of Gibraltar is no ordinary geological formation. It's a narrow body of water that separates two continents and two major bodies of water, the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. The distance? A mere 13 kilometers at its narrowest point. So on paper, it seemed like a plausible idea. The Spanish engineers rolled up their sleeves and dived into the project, ready to make history. But as they started the initial tests, they hit a wall, quite literally. The rock in the Strait of Gibraltar proved to be much harder than they had anticipated. It was a far cry from the geology of the English Channel, where the rock was softer, allowing for the successful construction of the Channel Tunnel between England and France. This unexpected challenge brought the project to a grinding halt. The hard rock was simply too much for the tunneling techniques of the time. The dream of a Europe-Africa tunnel, it seemed, was destined to remain just that, a dream. Fast forward to the 21st century. We have skyscrapers that kiss the clouds, bridges that span vast bodies of water, and tunnels that burrow through mountains. With today's advanced tunneling techniques that can penetrate even the hardest rock, the question arises, why hasn't the Europe-Africa Tunnel project been revisited? Technical difficulties stopped the project in its tracks, but with today's advanced tunneling techniques, why hasn't the project been revisited? While technology has advanced, political challenges have remained. This statement rings particularly true when we consider the idea of a bridge or a tunnel connecting Europe and Africa. The technical hurdles, as daunting as they may seem, are not the only impediments standing in the way. The political complexities involved in such a project are perhaps even more significant, and they stem from a variety of sources. Firstly, there's the matter of international relations. Building a bridge or a tunnel of this magnitude is not just a matter of engineering. It's a matter of diplomacy. It would require cooperation and agreement between at least 3 different nations: Spain, the United Kingdom, and Morocco. Each of these nations has different political systems, different interests, and different priorities. Then there's the question of jurisdiction. Who would be responsible for the maintenance of the bridge or tunnel? Who would manage the traffic? Who would provide security? These questions are not easy to answer, and they could lead to significant disputes. Furthermore, there's the issue of costs and benefits. Such a project would require a massive investment. But who would bear the costs? And who would reap the benefits? Again, these are complex questions that would need to be addressed. Moreover, there's the potential for political opposition within the countries involved. For instance, there could be concerns about the potential impact on immigration, security, or the environment. These concerns could fuel political opposition and make it difficult to achieve the necessary support for the project. Finally, there's the issue of geopolitical stability. The Strait of Gibraltar is a strategic location, and any major construction project there could have significant geopolitical implications. This could make the project a contentious issue on the international stage. In summary, while the idea of a bridge or tunnel connecting Europe and Africa may seem appealing from a technical or economic perspective, the political challenges associated with such a project are substantial. So, while we can tunnel through rock and construct bridges over vast expanses of water, resolving these political issues is a far more complex task. The political landscape, it seems, is even more challenging to navigate than the rocky terrain under the Strait of Gibraltar. Given the difficulties of tunneling, why not build a bridge instead, you might ask? A bridge over the Strait of Gibraltar, connecting Europe and Africa, would indeed be a marvel of modern engineering. However, the challenges of such a project are significant. Firstly, the depth of the strait, which reaches up to 900 meters, is a formidable obstacle. Building a bridge that could span such a depth would require an incredible feat of engineering. The piers supporting the bridge would need to be taller than any existing structure on Earth. This would not only be technically challenging, but also astronomically expensive. Secondly, the Strait of Gibraltar is a busy shipping lane with hundreds of vessels passing through daily. Any bridge would need to be high enough to allow the passage of the largest ships, adding to the technical complexity and cost. There's also the concern about the potential for ship collisions with the bridge, which could lead to catastrophic consequences. Then there's the weather. The region is known for its strong winds, which would pose significant challenges for both the construction and maintenance of a bridge. And let's not forget about the seismic activity in the area. The Strait of Gibraltar lies near an active tectonic boundary, making it prone to earthquakes. Lastly, there are the political challenges. The Strait of Gibraltar lies between two continents, 4 countries, and multiple jurisdictions. The coordination and agreement required between all the parties involved would be a diplomatic challenge of epic proportions. So, while a bridge connecting Europe and Africa may seem like an obvious solution given the difficulties of tunneling, it presents its own set of formidable challenges. Technological advancements may one day make such a project feasible, but for now, it remains a concept resigned to the realms of imagination and speculation. With the current technological and political landscape, the dream of a Europe-Africa bridge remains just that, a dream. The idea of a direct connection between Europe and Africa is as intriguing as it is complex. We've explored the geographical proximity of the two continents, separated only by the relatively short span of 13 kilometers across the Strait of Gibraltar. It's a distance that, on the surface, seems easily surmountable, and yet a physical link remains absent. Historical attempts have been made to bridge this gap. Proposals dating back to the 1930s sought to tunnel beneath the strait, mirroring the successful underwater link between France and the United Kingdom. However, the geological challenges presented by the strait's rock proved to be a significant barrier, halting the project before it could gain any real traction. Even with today's advanced tunneling techniques, the prospect remains a daunting one. Political challenges have also played a part in stymieing the progress of a Europe-Africa connection. The strait is a crucial sea route, seeing over 300 vessels traverse its waters daily. The economic, political, and territorial implications of constructing a bridge or tunnel across this bustling maritime highway are complex and far-reaching. We've also delved into the bridge versus tunnel debate. While a bridge could potentially provide a quicker, more direct route across the strait, it would also present its own set of challenges. Not only would such a construction be an engineering marvel, but it would also need to navigate the busy shipping traffic, the strong currents, and the deep waters of the strait. So, while a Europe-Africa bridge may seem like a logical step, the journey to its realization is fraught with obstacles that go beyond the 13 kilometers of sea separating the two continents. The dream of a direct connection remains just that, a dream. Yet, as history has shown us, dreams have a way of becoming reality, given enough time, innovation, and determination.